Hello and welcome back to Old Charles today. We're diving into our pockets, our piggy banks, and the dusty jars of loose change we all have tucked away in a cupboard. We're on a mission to uncover the hidden stories and potential value of what many consider to be the most humble of coins. This, right here, the 1979 one new penny. It's a coin that millions upon millions of Brits have held, spent, and lost behind the sofa. To most, it's worthless. But could it be a secret treasure? Is your 1979 penny the key to an early retirement? Well, probably not. But the story behind it, and the rare varieties that are out there, are absolutely fascinating. So, let's get started to understand this coin. We have to step back into the Britain of 1979. It was a year of monumental change. The winter of discontent was ending, and the country was about to elect its first female prime minister, Margaret Thatcher. Punk music was blaring from radios, and the economy was in a state of flux. Inflation was high, and the coin in your pocket felt different. You see, the 1979 penny is part of the decimal series that Britain introduced in 1971, when it moved away from the centuries-old system of pounds, shillings, and pence. This was the new penny, and by 1979, this new system was fully bedded in. The coin itself, designed by Christopher Ironside, features a crowned portcullis with chains, a classic British heraldic symbol representing the Palace of Westminster. On the obverse, we have the mature portrait of Queen Elizabeth II by Arnold Machin. This is the same portrait you'll find on British postage stamps from that era. It's a familiar and comforting image. So, we have a common coin, from a common year, with a common design. So why are we even talking about it? I know. Anticlimax, right? But stay with me. The Royal Mint struck a staggering 459 million one-penny coins in 1979. That's right, 400 and standard coin. Beyond the famous L error, there are a couple of other things a sharp-eyed collector might look for. First, look at the number 9 in the date. On some 1979 pennies, you might find what's called a lazy 9, where the tail of the 9 curves down more than usual. It's a minor variety and only adds a small premium, maybe 50p to £1 for an uncirculated example, but it's a fun thing to spot. The one-penny coin was made from bronze, 97% copper, 2.5% zinc, 0.5% tin, until 1992. After that, they switched to copper-plated steel. So your 1979 penny should be bronze and should weigh 3.56 grams. If it feels light or is magnetic, it's a later coin and not a genuine 1979. So, your homework for this week is to grab your old coin jars and get hunting. Here's your step-by-step guide. 1. Sort asterisk, pull out all the 1979 one new pennies. Point 2. Clean? And no, asterisk, do not, I repeat, do not clean your coins. Cleaning destroys the surface and any potential value. We want them exactly as they are. Point 3. Inspect asterisk, use a good light and a magnifying glass. Carefully examine the area near the date for that elusive L4. Grade asterisk, assess the condition. Is it worn smooth? Or is it still sharp and detailed with its original reddish gold color? 5. Identify varieties asterisk, check the 9 in the date for the lazy 9 variety. The story of the 1979 one new penny is a perfect lesson in numismatics. It teaches us that rarity is not just about age. It's about mintages, errors, and condition. While your average 1979 penny is a piece of history you can hold in your hand for just 1 pence, the search for the legendary L mint mark is what keeps coin collectors like us going through jar after jar of change. So, get searching. And let me know in the comments below if you've ever found a rare coin in your change, or if you think you might have a 1979 L penny. I'd love to hear your stories. For over 1,000 years, a small, silver coin has been at the heart of British life. It has paid for often bore the name of the moneyer, the individual responsible for minting, and the mint town itself. This was a decentralized system. There was no royal mint in London. Instead, coins were struck in fortified towns across the kingdom, leading to a huge variety of styles. The penny was a substantial coin, and for centuries, it was the only denomination in production. The Norman conquest in 1066 changed many things, but the penny remained. The system of multiple mints and moneyers continued for centuries. However, the penny story in this period is one of debasement and gradual decline. Under Henry II, a major recoinage established a new, consistent standard across England, known today as the Tealby type after a hoard found in Lincolnshire. Introduced by Henry III, this was a genius design. The long cross on the reverse extended to the edge of the coin. This made it immediately obvious if someone had clipped silver from the edge, a common form of medieval fraud. The value of the penny was its silver content. But kings were often short of cash, especially to fund wars. They began to reduce the silver content, inflating the currency. By the time of the Tudors, the penny was a tiny, sad-looking sliver of silver, often called a dump. The 17th century saw the rise of milled coinage and the formal establishment of the Royal Mint at Tower Hill. But the penny's real transformation came with the Industrial Revolution. This was a monster. Minted by Matthew Boulton at the Soho Mint using steam-powered presses, it was made of pure copper and was incredibly heavy, 1 ounce / 28.3 grams, and large, 36 millimeters diameter. It was designed to have its intrinsic metal value match its face value, and its thick rim made clipping impossible. It was a statement of industrial power. The cartwheel was impractical. In 1860, the penny was reduced in size and switched to bronze, 95% copper, 4% tin, 1% zinc. This is the classic bun penny and later old head penny that Victory, and a bag of sweets in the 20th century. This is the story of the humble, yet mighty, penny. Our story begins not with England, but with the warring Anglo-Saxon kingdoms. Before the penny, trade relied on gold coins called thrimses and small, cruder silver coins known as ciatas. But in the 8th century, a revolutionary idea arrived from Europe, a standardized silver coin. The man credited with its introduction is King Offa of Mercia, r. 757 to 796. Offa's silver penny was a masterpiece of its age. Material **** high-quality silver, often over 90% pure, weight **** about 1.3 to 1.5 grams. Design ****, the obverse featured the king's name and a stylized portrait, a powerful statement of royal authority. The reverse have known. It was durable, practical, and featured a beautiful, classic portrait of the monarch. This bronze penny remained largely unchanged for over 100 years, circulating through 2 world wars and the reign of 4 more monarchs. Edward VII, George V, Edward VIII, whose coins were never released, and George VI. For centuries, Britain used a complex system of pounds, shillings, and pence, 12 pence to a shilling, 20 shillings to a pound. By the 1960s, it was clear this had to change. On 15 February 1971, Decimal Day, the UK switched to a system where the pound was divided into 100 units. The old bronze penny was gone. In its place was the new penny. It was smaller than the old penny. The obverse featured the new, iconic portrait of Queen Elizabeth II by Arnold Machin. The reverse, designed by Christopher Ironside, showed a crowned portcullis with chains. A royal badge symbolizing the Palace of Westminster. It was still bronze, but the composition was slightly adjusted. This is the direct ancestor of the coin in your change today. The word new was dropped after 1981 that the final major chapter in the penny's history was driven by economics. In the early 1990s, the price of copper rose so high that the metal in a bronze penny was worth more.